start the video. We're going to work on taking our quadratic relationships and putting them from taking our quadratic equations and being able to convert back and forth between vertex form and standard form. So on the top of this paper, I'm just going to write the name of the worksheet, vertex form of parabolas, because there's going to be a couple of notes that I'm going to jot down here. Parabolas, that's the name of our work, and this is, I am Mrs. P, married to Mr. P only. And today's the 17th of February. All right, so vertex. I write vertex form. This is me thinking about too many things at once. Vertex form of parabolas is the name of this worksheet. So a couple of things that we need to just remember is that vertex form itself, vertex form looks like y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. And remember, in vertex form, the a tells us, this is really, it's getting, I'm hoping you guys are getting to the point where you're remembering this because it's getting pretty redundant. We keep saying the same things over and over again. The a tells us if the parabola opens up or down, and it up, down, opening. And it also tells us about, is it fat or skinny? You know, and that's going to be compared to that y equals x squared. We're going to compare that to the parent function y equals x squared. And then the other piece of information that we grab out of this is that h is the x value of the vertex, x, y of the vertex. H and k are considered the x and y values of the vertex. And then in addition to having our vertex form, and this is where we're going to start moving back and forth between these. In addition to having our vertex form, we also have standard form. Now, standard form looks like y equals a x squared plus bx plus c. Now, the thing about standard form is that the a in vertex form and the a in standard form are the only thing that stays consistent. Our a here still tells us the up-down opening, and it tells us if the parabola is fat or skinny compared to the parent function. I should just put or there just like I did in the other one. So we have that in common. So good. We know what the a is up here, what it tells us. It's the same thing in standard form. Now, when it comes to identifying the vertex in standard form, we can't see it just by the values in the equation like we could with the h and k. What do you mean? There is no paper. The vertex, the x value of the vertex, comes from that negative b over 2a. We do know that. Oh, open it. Just remember, x value of the vertex, x equals, this is the x value of the vertex, negative b over 2a. So realistically, this negative b over 2a from this form would be the h in this equation. And that's where we're going to go. We're going to go start like looking at putting standard form into vertex form. We're going to look at putting standard form into vertex form. And on your worksheet, we're going to do a handful of problems together, and then you guys are going to be left with the practice on your own. So I've got a whole bunch that are circled on my page that I plan on doing with you. I'm going to leave this here. If you want to go to your worksheet, my hope is to get through, these are the ones I'm going to do with you, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 14. You want me to do 9? I'll drop that one in there too. So that's my hope. And then you guys would be working on the 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, 11, and 13 for work in class whatever time we have left, and then for homework tonight, and we'll hit the back side of this page tomorrow in class. So what I'm going to do actually is just I'm going to put this worksheet aside. The directions say use the information provided to write the vertex form equation of each parabola. So we have to take what we've got, what standard form or however it's presented, and we've got to get it into vertex form. So I'm going to start moving a little bit quickly here, and I'm going to write down number 2. Number 2 is y equals x squared minus 2x minus 5. So if I want to get this in vertex form, the fact of the matter is I need the vertex. Like, that's what vertex form is all about. So if I need the vertex, and this is where we left off last week, we go and we grab what's the A, what's the B, and, you know, we don't really need the C, but it's probably good to just, actually this is going to tell us where it hits the y-axis, the parabola. A is going to be 1, B is negative 2, C is negative 5. The object of the game is for us to get to what is the vertex. So like we said here, the x value of the vertex is the opposite of b over 2 times a. So the x value of the vertex is the opposite of b. B is negative 2. So if b is already negative 2, the opposite of it's going to be positive 2. Opposite of b over 2 times a, and a here is 1. So 2 over 2, the x value of the vertex is 1. 2 over 2, the x value of the vertex is 1. Now, who remembers what we do to, some of you guys do, this should be coming back to you. What do we do to find the y value of the vertex? Plug in my x is 1. Start doing that. I'm just putting some music on in the background. It's kind of quiet in here, which is okay, but it's just a little too quiet. So we're plugging 1 in for x into that equation, the original equation. And then we're going to figure out what y is. Remember to wrap parentheses around the x value you're putting in. It's always important when we get to using negative numbers. So y is going to be equal to 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 5. What are you guys getting there? Negative 6. 1 minus 2, negative 1 minus another 5, negative 6. So then what we know now is that the vertex is sitting at 1 comma negative 6. Yeah? Cool? What do we need in vertex form? A, H, K. H is the x value of the vertex, K is the y value, or I'm sorry, yeah, H is the x value of the vertex, K is the y value of the vertex. So we're going to go and take what we used here, or what we found here, these three things, and say, all right, well then my answer is going to be, in vertex form, this equation, y is equal to a times x minus squared minus 6. A times the quantity, x minus h squared plus k. And it has minus 6 on there because that was actually a negative 6. Go over to your worksheet and write the equation there. Where's the music coming from? Give me the device. So go over to your number 2 and put this equation. Good stuff. Naomi. How did I get the 1 from A? That was our A. Remember back up here, I said that the only thing that these two structures or forms for a parabola have in common is the A. So when I know it from one of them, it's the same in the other. Cool? All right. So what other questions might you guys have right now? Final answer, from standard form to vertex form. Cool-ish? All right. You know, here we are. We're just using our algebra skills. So now I'm going to go on to number 4. Number 4, y is equal to 2x squared plus 36x plus 170. Looking back at what we were just doing, my first thing is going to be to write down the A, the B, the C. Go ahead and do that. I want you guys to try to be working just a little bit ahead of what I'm talking about here. If you can't do it yet on this problem and you're working with me, so be it, but you should be getting a little bit more and more independent as we go along. So I've got 2, 36, and 170. My next move is going to be to go find the x value of the vertex. X is going to be equal to the opposite of b, so negative 36 over 2 times 2. Negative 36 over 4, that's going to give me a negative 9. I'm going to go grab this later. Need that 2 in my next equation. And then once I know that the x value of the vertex is 9, so my vertex, I've got negative 9. Now I'm going to go and make sure that I use parentheses, and I'm going to plug negative 9 in for x. Wrap in parentheses around that negative number all the way through in my calculator. And once you guys put that in and find out what it is, let me know. 8? I heard enough people that said that, so hopefully we're on track. And then, where am I at? Ask me something. How did I get negative 9? Negative b, the b was 36, so the opposite of 36 over 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then negative 36 divided by 4 is negative 9. So it's just me simplifying that negative b over 2a idea. So then this is sitting here at 8. How about putting this together then? Now it's got to go get dropped into vertex form. What's the final answer going to look like? Y equals. Say it if you know it. 2 times the quantity x plus 9, all that squared. How come it's x plus 9? I thought this was negative 9. The structure is x minus h, so x minus negative 9 made me put x plus 9. What questions might you have about this one? I'm not leaving you on your own quite yet. So again, the object of the game is that you're going to be able to get left alone here. Number 6. Y equals x squared plus 4x. You want to drop in a plus 0? Sure. I don't have to. You really only need the a and the b, but probably we should just remind ourselves that that would be like plus 0 out there. Not a bad little reminder. And then my move is going to be to find the x value of the vertex, because that's going to be our h in vertex form. X value of the vertex, negative b over 2a. Negative 4 over 2, going to bring us to negative 2. Vertex is sitting at negative 2 and something. And to go find that something, I'm going to use my equation, and I'm going to drop negative 2 into it. And I'm going to make sure I wrap parentheses around those negative numbers every time, because our calculator is pretty dumb. It would tell us that a negative number squared is actually positive. I'm sorry, a negative number to the second power would tell us it's negative. There's a handout and you need some lined paper over there. Cool. How about the y value? What do you got? 20? I'm hearing more negative 4s than I am 20. So this would be 4 minus 8. 4 plus negative 8. Negative 4. Make sure you're wrapping parentheses around it. If you're not, you're going to get something different. And then I'm going to go, and I've got the information I need for vertex form. So this is going to be my h and k. I've got my a. Y is equal to 1 times. Now, do I have to have the 1 out there? Realistically, I don't. I know I dropped it in on the first one we did, number 2. X minus h. X plus 2, because it's minus negative 2, squared, and then minus 4. X minus a times the quantity, a was 1. X minus h plus k. Minus a negative made this positive, plus k. K was a negative number, that's why it's minus 4. Any questions about this one? Number 8's looking a little bit different. Number 8's looking a little bit different, and I'm going to get number 8 into standard form. So number 8 is reading, yeah, I don't like necessarily the idea of FOIL. It only works in particular cases. I want to just remind you guys, and a lot of you, I did teach Algebra 2, Algebra 1, 2. If I've got the quantity x plus 5 and I've got the quantity x plus 4, using this area model, we can find out what those things would multiply to. Is this looking familiar to some of you? If I go into here, I go and fill the boxes with the products. I fill up the boxes with the products. What's x times x? X squared. X times x is x squared. X plus x would be 2x. How about x times 4? The dimensions of this box are x and 4. It's x on this side, 4 on this side. That would be a 4x right there. This box is 5 on this side, x on this side. I'm doing length and width of each little part. This bottom corner would be 5 times x, or 5x. And then the dimensions of this corner would be 5 by 4. Drop a 20 in there. And then do you notice we've got some like terms right here? Yeah. So 5x's and 4x's, when I go and want to pull these out, that's going to be 9 of them. So what I just did actually, now if you guys watch me go and take what's in the box and pull them out, x squared, it's out, 5x, 4x, got it out, plus 20. Standard form. I know, right? Yeah, because you got to go get it in standard form because you need to go find the A, the B, the C, and then go find the vertex. So, yep, you know, like now you're seeing our Algebra 1 stuff coming into the work we're doing in Algebra 2. The assumption that you guys can get from here to here. Yeah. I did use the area model to do what you're calling FOIL. I just don't choose to use that because it only works for a binomial times a binomial. This method could be done for any size polynomial. Does that make sense? Like if there was 3 terms. So you just don't hear me talk FOIL. So now we're finding the x value of the vertex. X is equal to negative b, the opposite of b. B was positive, over 2 times the a value. A is 1. So negative 9 over 2, I'm getting negative 4.5. I'm going to write that as 4.5. I went pretty quick because I think some of you probably were there already. I'm going to use this later. I'm looking to find my vertex because I need to use that, and right now I'm at negative 4.5. So we're in the position where we've got to, you know, use some Algebra 1 skills to get into what we need here to rewrite our quadratic. Now I'm going to put in my negative 4.5. Make sure that you're using parentheses. You know what? I'm going to actually put it into my first equation. Y is equal to parentheses, negative 4.5 plus 5. I'm cool with that. And put it into your calculator just like this, parentheses next to each other, because parentheses mean to multiply, and your calculator understands that. This works out to be negative 0.5 times, times positive 0.5. What's the answer? Use your parentheses just like this in your calculator. I don't have a calculator up here, so don't wait for me. You should be putting it in your calculator yourself. Say it again. Negative 0.25 seems reasonable to me. So negative 0.25. Yep. Go drop that. Now put that in your vertex spot. And then our last thing is going to be to take the whole thing and write the equation. If you need paper at any time, get up and get it. Please, feel free. So, wait a second here. I did something else and I forgot what you said. Negative a quarter, negative a quarter. Final answer then. Y is equal to A, which is 1. I'm not going to write it. It's assumed 1 times. X minus h, so x plus 4.5 squared minus a quarter. Go stick that on your answer document. Now, number 9, we've got a lot going on in number 9. So number 9 is asking us to, we still got to get it into standard form, but there's just a whole lot going on. I've got a half of y plus 4. What does that half outside of the y plus 4 mean to do? What property? Oh, I see. Oh, okay. You guys are like looking at this like an A. It would make the parabola wider. Let's just think basics. If I presented this to you without thinking about a graph, what would you do with a half? Distribute it. There you go. A half of y plus 2. And I know I haven't even written the other side yet, but I just simplified what was presented on the left side. I distributed the half. You guys okay with that? I got to simplify on the right-hand side, x minus 7 to the second power. Well, what that means is that I've got to go and take x minus 7 and x minus 7. That's x minus 7 to the second power is x minus 7 times x minus 7. I'm going to go fill in the boxes. So I simplified the left. Now I'm looking to simplify the right. And then I still got to do some work to get it into standard form. These are some good examples for you guys to be, like working from. Got to get it into standard form. So x times x is going to drop an x squared here. This is going to be a negative 7x. This is going to be a negative 7x. How about the bottom right corner? 49. These guys are like. So when I go to take these out, that's going to be negative 14x's coming out of the middle. Negative 7 minus another 7 more. X squared minus 14x plus 49. Now the interesting thing here is the right side looks like it's in standard form. But standard form's got to be like a y equals. So we got some work to do here. I got to get it into y equals. I'm going to go and take 2 away from both sides. Now the 2 is going to have to be taken away from the 49 because they're alike. So I'm trying to go across my equal sign and get it as y alone. A half of y equals x squared minus 14x plus, that's going to be 47. Now from here I have to undo multiplying by a half, and I can undo that by multiplying everything by 2. And actually I'm right back to having to distribute, because 2 times a half of y is just going to leave me with a y. And then go on and distribute this. I'm not even in standard form yet. But this is where our Algebra 1 skills come into play. So 2x squared minus 28x's plus 94 maybe? Yeah. Now what? Now here's the repetition in what we've done since the first problem. What am I going to go find? Now I got to get into my ABC. So my simplifying work just to get it into standard form is where the challenge is probably going to be. Go ahead.
Could you divide by a half on both sides?
Dividing by a half is the same as multiplying by 2. So if you went x divided by a half, you'd get 2. If you did negative 14 divided by a half, you'd get negative 28. Okay? If you, trust me, go on your calculator, but it would. The exact same thing would result if you went through and did all that math. So my ABC is 2, negative 28, and 94. I'm circling up the A because remember, you guys, I still am trying to get to what's the vertex in the A so I can put it in vertex form. So my x value of the vertex is going to be negative b. Negative b is the opposite of b. B is already negative 28. So the numerator, the opposite of b is going to be positive 28. Negative b. B is already negative. It's going to be positive 28 over 2 times a. 2 times 2. 28 divided by 7. 4. Vertex 4. Negative b over 2a. What do you mean?
4.
Oh, oh, oh. Good eye. See where my mistake came from, though? I had the right factors in my head, didn't I? Good stuff. Just seeing if you guys are on your toes. Not at all. Not at all. Just an honest mistake. Okay, now y. So y is... Y is 2 times 7 squared, wrapping it up, minus 28 times 7 plus 94. You're saying 324? Negative 4. I was like, I do not think any of these answers. Negative 4? Enough people have thrown it in their calculator. Negative 4. Holy cannolis. Okay, so negative 4, but I'm still not done. Wow. Now, I'm going to take the h and k. Y is equal to a is 2. 2 times x minus 7 squared minus 4. So my final answer, after all that work putting in vertex form, 2 times the quantity x minus 7 squared minus 4. I think we've got, what are we going to do? 2 more? 12 and 14. I'm leaving this here for just a second. Number 12. You know, throwing the Algebra 1 in there put it in a whole new twist. I hope you guys are getting in the habit of that once you're actually in standard form, how to get it to vertex form. X squared minus 12x plus y plus 40 equals 0. This one's interesting. Is this one in standard form? Not at all. I got to solve it for y. So you know what I'm going to do, you guys? I am just going to have you look at how we need to get this alone and having it stay here and move every other piece to the right-hand side. How am I going to get x squared to the right? I like what Simone just said. Take all the opposites and put them over here. So I'm going to subtract x squared. I'm going to do a lot of stuff at the same time right now. I got to get this negative 12x. I'm going to add 12x's. And to get y by itself, the last thing I'm going to have to do is take 40 away. And now I actually have a whole lot going on the right. Y is alone, and like Simone said, all these things came over to the right, and now they're opposite of what they were. Now I'm in standard form. So just undoing to move everything. And then I'm going to go ahead with my ABC. I'm going to use this down the road because my point is still to get into vertex form. The x value of the vertex is going to be the opposite of b over 2 times the a. So negative 12 over negative 2. The x value of the vertex is going to be 6. What's my next move? Plug it in. Let's go take 6, drop it into this equation we simplified to. Y is equal to. Make sure you're dropping that 6 in parentheses, because notice right here. What do you got for a Y? What'd you get? Negative 4? Yes, no? Parentheses? Make sure you got parentheses. I'm seeing a few people say negative 4 is it. So this would be negative 36 plus, I don't even know what 12 times 6 is. 12 times 72. That takes me to positive 36 minus 40. I'm with you, negative 4. Negative 4 is that. And then what do I do to finish? I'm going to leave my 1. I'm just going to put it as the opposite of the quantity. X minus 6 squared minus 4. And then last but not least, 14. Y plus 6 equals x plus 3 to the second power. What am I going to do with that x plus 3 to the second power? First move. What is x plus 3 when I multiply it times itself? Putting an x squared up in here. How about here? How about down here? How about here? Those like terms are going to pull out together. 3x, 3x. I'm going to get that out of there as 6x. So this is only the right-hand side. That's just this chunk that I went over here and did. So in a second, I'm going to have to do something about this plus 6, but I'll come back to that. How are we going to undo that in a minute? Just subtract it. Okay, good. You know what to do with it. But right now, let me just pull this stuff over here. X squared plus 6x plus 9. Just taking this stuff from inside and putting it in place of the quantity that I multiplied. Now, undo this, and I'm finally in standard form. I know, right? 3. A is 1, B is 6, C is 3. I'm going to need this A, and A is 1. I'm looking for the vertex. I'm going to need that. Let me go find the x value of the vertex. It's going to be equal to the opposite of the b value. B was positive 6 all over 2 times the a. Negative 6 over 2. The x value of the vertex is negative 3. And then let me go drop that negative 3 into the equation I simplified to, making sure that you're using parentheses. It'll change everything if you don't. I think it's negative 6. And then my last step, oh my goodness, from standard form to vertex form, and we figured out that getting into standard form takes some work. Y equals a, which is 1. Don't need to drop it in there. X minus h, so x minus negative 3, x plus 3, squared, plus k. In this case, k was negative. And before you go further to do your problems that remain on this front side of the page, make sure that you transfer these answers to your worksheet document. Go back and get